By now, you've seen the viral videos on more than one occasion.
Give me your hands. Give me your hands.
A school resource officer and a student turning physical. In this encounter, the male officer body slams the teenage girl.
There is never really justification for a police officer to grab a child and body slam that person to the ground.
But why does it happen? And perhaps the more important question,
can something like that happen at our school districts across the KC Metro?
It could.
Nothing is fail-proof. So the answer is yes.
Both men are working to make sure this trend doesn't pop up in the metro. Just about every public school district in our area has school resource officers.
Good morning.
That includes licensed officers and trained security personnel. Many school districts in Kansas have their own police departments. These officers have the same power as an officer you'd see on the street. And now, in many of our districts, student arrests have more than doubled over the last 3 years. Claims of excessive force have also gone up as more and more kids find themselves in handcuffs.
Some of the kids were messing with me.
In 2014, a KCPS teacher accused second grader Caleb Prim of being unruly. Never physical, never imposing harm.
We were halfway down the hall. He put handcuffs on me and twisted my wrist a little.
I don't think any 7-year-old should be in handcuffs unless he was armed with a weapon or violent.
His mother says an SRO took him to the principal's office like a criminal. Some fear that could have a lasting impact. His father explained why.
When kids play, what do they socialize handcuffs with? The bad guy wear the handcuffs. The good guy put the handcuffs on the bad guy.
KCPS, now under new leadership, won't comment on what happened to Caleb, but Superintendent Mark Bedell says the reason you see a lot of physical encounters with SROs is because they aren't used correctly.
Those are administrative functions. So you have principals, assistant principals, you have trained personnel that handles routine disciplinary infractions. That's not an SRO job to go in a classroom and pull a kid out of a seat or tell a kid to pick up their head.
If it comes to this, Shawnee Mission School District Chief John Douglas says the SRO should always maintain control of the situation, even if it means waiting and doing nothing.
It's a much better option than having to get into a wrestling match with a 16-year-old girl and throwing her over your shoulder.
Right, at the end of the day, the administrative function should be handled by administrators.
Come on, guys, let's go to class.
The SRO is also there to build relationships.
I saw you guys have been hanging out.
But according to a nationwide study, nearly 40% of students don't even know their SRO's name. More than half have never even spoken with him or her. Those numbers have to change, according to KCPS School Board President Melissa Robinson.
SROs are not there to come from a discipline or an enforcement standpoint. Again, this is about relationship building and mentoring.
And here's why it's so important. According to a recent study, nearly 6% of children have carried a weapon on their school property. Nearly 8% say they were threatened or injured with a weapon, and 20% of the students say they were bullied. Experts say eliminating these threats is the core function of an SRO.
Be nice, be nice. Good morning.
And when the officer does what's considered an administrative function, this could be the end result.
If you're building relationships with folks,
Shining bright today.
you're not going to be worried about somebody flipping out their iPhone, right?
Happy Monday.
Develop that relationship with that young man or young woman that says, hey, bonehead, you're getting close to the edge, and I care about you. Back up.
Your back's unzipped.
Kevin Holmes,
I'm talking about my baseball hat.
41 Action News.
For more details on school resource officers and several other districts in the metro, just download the 41 Action News app right now.